So, you're probably wondering why I have a new avatar, and with the title and everything being that I'm going to be reading some old fan fiction of mine. Well, the thing is, I've been in the Hetalia fandom since I was in 8th grade, but I've deleted most of my old fan fiction because I was ashamed of how they turned out. However, I did find one old, it's not exactly old, but it's still somewhat old fan fiction that I wrote in the first half of my junior year in high school. Now, if some words seem out of place in the story, it's because I was writing the chapters for my English class, where we had to use the vocab and the assignment each week, and I just write out a chapter each week. So there are 12 chapters in total. And just so you know, this isn't connected to the game Hetaoni. This is its own thing. And I actually am in the process of rewriting it, but I will be reading the first draft of this. So, yeah. Also, I changed my avatar for this to Kokichi Oma from Danganronpa V3 because honestly I felt like I needed to change it since this is really just me reading an old fan fiction of mine. It's not really just me reading someone else's bad fan fiction. And also, when it comes to the human names that I used, this was before I started using Elizabeta for Hungary. So in this story, her human name is Elizabeta. And for Czechia, I was using an old human name that I came up for Czech Republic, Eliska. In the new version, her name will be Irina, but for now, you're just gonna have to deal with her name being Eliska. So, let's get started. So basically, Hetaoni Unheard screams, again, like I said, it's not connected to the fangame Hetaoni. I wanted to create my own Hetalia/Aoni crossover that I felt was more realistic. I think I have another crossover between Hetalia and Aoni, but I never really got far on that. So anyway, I'll begin reading. Have you heard about it? Elizabeta looked up at one of her fellow classmates, Gilbert. His guile showed through his smirk. What do you want, Gilbert? Hey, I'm not here to go after you, Gilbert replied. I'm just wondering if you have heard about the mansion on the outskirts of town. Oh, that mansion? Wasn't it abolished a few years ago? Strangely enough, it is still around. Rumor has it people have gone in there and have gone missing. Sounds like some silly urban legends, Elizabeta commented. I bet you it is all just rumors. I plan on going there on Halloween. I might even film it for my own entertainment. Yes, I am sure you will adapt easily to such an environment, Elizabeta said sarcastically. She remembered a time when Gilbert freaked out over a song she had been humming. By the way, that's a reference to how in the comic Prussia got scared over Hungary. I think she was either humming or singing Hungarian suicide song. I used to have it downloaded, but I don't think I have it anymore. Meanwhile, 2 other students had been eavesdropping on the conversation. One of the students grinned happily upon hearing about the mansion. So there's a mansion on the outskirts? How interesting. Andrei, I already know what you're thinking. By the way, Andrei's my human name for Romania. Tsvetan admonished, and Tsvetan's the human name for Bulgaria. Tsvetan knew his boyfriend well enough to know that he would try to explore the mansion. Aw, you know me so well, Andrei answered, his eyes full of rapture. I want to go to the mansion on Halloween. It sounds like it would be fun. A duo of students were sitting nearby, listening. Oh my god, I spelled listening so wrong. Why didn't I spell check this? Listening to everyone else. Perhaps we could go to the mansion on Halloween with everyone else, the boy asked. That would be irresponsible. We have to keep up with the homework load, the girl replied. You're always ordering me around, Eliska. Come on, please, the boy implored. Jakub, by the way, Jakub is my human name for Slovakia. You wanted to take control of your grades last year, and look what happened, Eliska reminded. You always have to remind me. Halloween ambushed the students quickly. The sun was setting over the contour of the trees. The last rays of sunlight was shining over a large mansion. A young man was walking up to the place with a camera in hand. He turned the camera toward his face. "This is Gilbert here. I'm going to explore this mansion. Many people have been rumored to go missing here, and I plan to film whatever I find in there," Gilbert affirmed. Gilbert stopped recording so he would not curtail the amount of minutes he could record. He walked up the small stairway and went through the front door as a zephyr brushed by him. Elizabeta was on her living room couch with her girlfriend, Erika. By the way, Erika is the human name I give to Liechtenstein, and yes, there's gay shit in this. Honestly, my teacher never chewed me out for anything, like, all the gay pairings in this, because, I don't know, just didn't care, I guess. They were watching horror movies running on television. Elizabeta was slumped over on the arm of the couch, half asleep. Erika was focused on the movie, occasionally brushing Elizabeta's hair during a commercial break. "Isn't Gilbert at the abandoned mansion?" Erika inquired. "Yeah, he's probably going to get scared and run out before he even enters the mansion. I'm sure that is the reason he tried to coerce you to go along with him. You know what they say, curiosity killed the cat. Or in this case, curiosity scared the cat out of its wits." Erika giggled over what Elizabeta said. Erika had found Gilbert somewhat annoying since he was too loud for her taste. The commercial break ended and Erika went back to watching the movie. Elizabeta looked around focuslessly, I don't even think that's a word, until something caught her eye outside her living room window. Something was moving around robotically. She sat up, which caught Erika's attention. "Is something wrong?" "Either I am seeing things or there's something outside," Elizabeta muttered. Erika looked over at the window, but there was nothing there. The thing outside had moved. "I'm sure you are seeing things. You should get some rest, dear." With that, Elizabeta leaned back where she once was. Eventually she fell into a deep slumber. Night came with no defer. Tsvetan and Andrei walked over to the abandoned mansion after acquiring what they felt they needed. Tsvetan walked up through the short stairway with Andrei strangely trailing behind him. "So this is the place you wanted to check out?" "I'm not feeling so good about going inside now," Andrei divulged, looking down at his feet. "What makes you feel that way?" Tsvetan questioned, turning around to face Andrei. "Just something does not feel right about the atmosphere." Tsvetan walked back over to Andrei and looked him straight in the eye, with a worried expression on his face. Typically, Andrei was good at reading the atmosphere, so when something felt off to him, it probably was. "It's fine, we can go back to your place," Tsvetan answered. "Besides, I'm pretty sure your little brother's up watching scary movies when he should be sleeping." I'm sure you're right about that," Andrei said, grinning at the remark about his brother. The two men were about to leave when they heard a scream erupt from the mansion. They both froze in their tracks and glanced back over at the mansion. "What was that?" "I don't know. I think we should check it out." "That's a terrible idea," Andrei exclaimed. "This place already gives me a medley of bad feelings." "Well, what else do you suggest?" "We should call the police. They would know what to do." The students turned back to leave when they saw a large figure blocking their only exit. It looked much larger than an average man, but did not in any way look human, and slowly stepped toward them. Tsvetan and Andrei backed away from the figure, both getting a bad vibe from it. "What do we do now?" Andrei asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "We have no other choice." Tsvetan grabbed Andrei's arm and they both rushed into the mansion. Little did they know they had been led straight to a labyrinth with death at every corner. You know what I just realized? If they acquired, everything they felt they needed, they probably would have had cell phones, so they probably would have been able to call the police right there. I don't know. I'm just gonna continue on. At Eliska's house, Jakub had come over last minute for homework help. Eliska was irritated at him for being so flighty to forget until last minute. The jargon of the television was heard in the living room while the two were working in the dining room. "Honestly, you are so irresponsible, Jakub," Eliska commented, flipping through papers. "I'm sorry, it just slipped my mind. Your mind is more slippery than the roads during a blizzard." A few minutes had passed. Eliska noticed that Jakub looked somewhat nervous. He would occasionally look out the dining room window as if he was looking to see if something was watching him. Jakub was also writing quicker than usual, as if to try and get everything done quickly. "Hey, have you noticed something moving around the side yard?" The question caught Eliska completely off guard. She looked out the window but saw nothing outside. "I'm sure it's just some neighborhood kids being idiots." I don't think something that big could be a kid. Eliska froze up when she heard that comment. She had to think that there might be some burglar outside scouting the house. You mean like a burglar? She asked. No, Jakub answered, his face pale with fear. Whatever it is, it's not human. Jakub, you must be joking. Why would I joke about something staring right at me? Eliska looked out the window and immediately regretted doing so. A large figure stood in front of the window. Eliska was on the verge of screaming, calling the police, but the sight of the figure had her frozen in place. Eventually, the figure left the side yard. Eliska exited the dining room and went up to the living room. She opened the curtains to see the figure walking down the road away from her house. You know, the figure seems to be heading toward that abandoned mansion everyone has been talking about, Jakub commented. The abandoned mansion was close to Eliska's house and she lived near the outskirts. Something tells me that figure and the mansion are connected in some way. Some students were talking about going to the mansion. What if they run into that thing? Can't let that happen, Eliska replied, but I don't want to go into the mansion. Well, we cannot just lay around. We have to warn them. Jakub went back to the dining room to gather up his stuff. He came back with his backpack in a hurry. Jakub, what are you doing? I'm going to go there. You idiot! That is just a surefire way to get in trouble. Jakub ignored Eliska's insult and left. She did not think he was being serious about going to the mansion. She took a peek outside through the window and saw him walking where the figure had gone. I did not think that idiot was serious, Eliska thought. Eliska was not sure whether to follow Jakub to make sure he would not get in trouble or to call the police. Calling the police would be a wise choice, but they might be too late. Eliska knew that time would run out quickly and a decision had to be made. Well, that's the end of chapter 1. Now, the chapters vary in length. Some are about the same length as this, some are shorter, some are longer. I think one of them was like really, really long. So, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.